There are a lot of great things going for Jackson State, and I'm going to spotlight them. First, James Houston, in his debut, had 2 sacks, a forced fumble, and that was his first regular season game. And could you imagine if he would have played earlier? And for Coach Prime, here's something that they, meaning old media, will not even bring up, in that he is graduating his players. And lastly, here's what James Houston has to say, and after that, I'll chime in.
When you put up 2 sacks like that?
Yeah, I mean, it was always something I knew I could do. I've done it at Jackson State, you know what I'm saying? It's football, and I just know I needed to be prepared, and I needed the opportunity. And so those 2 things happened, and I came out and did my thing.
What's good, everyone? This is RawTruth Media, giving you the raw content that you deservedly need. Please like and share this video throughout all social media platforms. Whether you celebrate the holidays, Thanksgiving, or not, I hope you had a great Thursday. I hope you got to eat a lot of food and spend time with your loved ones. That's the most important part. But today, Friday, we're going to talk about something positive. And we're going to turn negatives into positives. First, we're going to talk about James Houston and his debuts. His debuts was impressive. Being your first game, 2 sacks and a forced fumble and a fumble recovery. First game. That's impressive. And looking at his skill, especially in the pass rushing downs, third down that is, it's like he never missed a beat. Now, to all the buffoons who said that James Houston, he wouldn't make it because he went up against SWAC or HBCU offensive line, they look stupid right now. And I don't want to hear about that wasn't said, because a lot of people were saying that during his draft process. They were making excuses why he slid in the draft. Oh, he didn't play against nobody. He didn't play against great competition. That's why he slid in the later rounds. They all say this. Even people in the so-called HBCU community were making excuses why James Houston was not drafted early. But I get it. Jackson State had a great season last year. They're having a great season this year. They're undefeated, by the way. And they want to nitpick the good that is going on. So I understand why it's being said within the community, the HBCU community, that is. But I told everyone, it shouldn't take a rocket scientist to understand that James Houston has the grit and the tools to be successful. And one thing he mentioned on that interview, the audio clip that I showed you guys, he credited JSU. I repeat, he credited JSU. It's nothing against Florida. But I understand why he credited JSU for his success. And this is a good thing about the transfer portal. When you transfer to a school, especially a non-Division I school, especially a school with NFL coaches, you have more one-on-one training that helps your interests out if you want to go pro or not, if you're an athlete. When you go to Florida, Tennessee, and these schools, if you're not a high draft pick, they're not going to spend time with your development. That's just common sense. It's sad, but that's the reality. That's why if you're a high school recruit, you got to think long and hard what decision you're going to make. Because there's so many D1 athletes, let me correct myself, FBS athletes who commit to a big-time school and then transfer to a FCS school or just a FCS HBCU school. And then they tell themselves, man, I should have made this move a while ago. They always say it. But let me digress. Shout out to James Houston for being the first draft pick from Coach Prime, and many more will follow suit. I guarantee it. And if you're a high school athlete watching right now, if James Houston can do this in 1 year, if you commit to Jackson State, just imagine what you can do. And I'm speaking to the athletes right there, the high school athletes that is. Just imagine what you could do for 3 to 4 years. Now, let's talk about the other stuff that's out there. Since Coach Prime's name, and I knew this was going to happen, would be in media blogs about him taking this position, that position, Colorado, USF, y'all heard it. Instead of really talking about the success of Jackson State, the undefeated season, preparation for the SWAC championship game, and if they win that, the Celebration Bowl. That should have been the main things, but again, media, they like clicks, they like clout chasing, reactions. So I understand media. So I'm never surprised. But there were a lot of reports talking about Coach Prime and Prime Prep and the education wasn't there. Let me tell y'all the real. Since I'm a Texas native and I know the real down here, that stuff with Prime Prep, that's all about the UIL and jealousy. The UIL was politicking, trying to put these different requirements for Prime Prep. And Coach Prime, during that time, all he wanted to do was coach. And when all you want to do is coach, you hire business partners to make sure everything is rectified and so forth. I don't blame Prime Prep being shut down because of Coach Prime at all. And the ones who know. Now to Jackson State, what it has to do with Jackson State, because the media makes it seem like they're not graduating, the kids are not making good grades. But here's what I want to show you all. So if you look at this diagram here, and you see that Jackson State is number one in graduation rates in the SWAC. 90% graduation rate. Number one out of all SWAC teams. And that's a high graduation rate for any HBCU. This is what they need to talk about. He's graduating his players. Do they know how strict he is on if you're not making at least a B? Let's say there's a Jackson State athlete right now making a C or a couple of Ds. They're most likely not going to either play that much or not play at all. He's very adamant about that. But that's the real truth. So I'm not going to focus on this channel. I'm not going to focus on Coach Prime, if he's going to go to this school or not. That doesn't matter right now. What matters is HBCU excellence. That's what Jackson State is doing. There's other schools that are doing it too. Shout out to North Carolina Central, who will be at the Celebration Bowl. That's the most important part. But shout out to Jackson State, their fans, Coach Prime. Keep doing your thing. Let no hater take your joy. This is RawTruth Media, giving you the raw content that you deservedly need. Peace and blessings. I'm out.